Okay. Hello everyone. I think now I am audible and visible. Okay. Please give me reply in chat if I am audible and visible so I can come to know. Am I audible? Hello everyone. Please reply me. I'm audible. Okay, fine. Anatomy lover, welcome to my class. Okay, fine. So let me start with my introduction. Hello everyone. Sorry for some technical delay. It took around 10 minutes to start. Okay, fine. Now, so hello all of you. Welcome to Okay. Welcome to my class. I'm myself Dr. Deepthi Karya. I'm the PhD Physiology and I'm Associate Professor. I'm educating MBBS, nursing, physiotherapy, as well as homeopathy students. All of you, very warm welcome to my class. Saudin Pramanik. Okay. Hello. Welcome. Now, so first of all, before starting my class, let me explain the main fundament or why I have started this classes here on my YouTube channel. I have started this session for physiology. I will complete all the physiology topics here. Okay, so if you are staying connected with me, you can learn the whole physiology in given period of time, that is 1 year. Okay. Another important thing here is here I will teach different topics to you, and all these topics, they are available in soft copy as well as hard copy. Soft copy, for that you can download our app Basilius, in which you can get all the topics soft copy. Okay, you have to subscribe for getting this soft copy. Nominal subscription charges are there. And second important thing, if you wish to have hard copy of the same things which I will teach here, you have to go to Flipkart and you can get my notes, that is physiology notes. Okay, so with this introduction and briefing about our subject, let us start to today's topic. So daily, please note the time. Daily I will be live at 9 p.m. Okay, and daily we will complete one topic. So by the end of year you can complete the whole syllabus, and I'll try to keep MCQ test or different test on Saturday and Sunday. Okay, fine. So I think that is good for you. Okay, so now starting with today's first topic, okay, of general physiology and nerve muscle physiology. First and foremost topic that today we will discuss, that is homeostatic feedback control. Okay, this is negative and feedback. So the question may be asked as either you will be having short note, either homeostatic feedback control or positive and negative feedback control. Okay, so if you have either of this short note, how to write that we will discuss here in today's topic. Okay, now, so first is, what is homeo and stresses? Homeo, that means maintenance of steady internal environment. So the exact meaning of homeostasis, that is maintenance of nearly constant, steady, constant internal environment. Okay, so this is like, you can see, you might have seen the person walking on a rope. You can see that the person tries to maintain the balance. Same thing in our body, we are trying to maintain balance, and this is our homeostasis. When this balance disturbed, that results in pathology. So we can say that we fall sick. Same thing here. So the person, if the person cannot maintain balance, he or she will fall down. Same way, if we cannot maintain homeostasis, we will fall down. So this is the term. It comes from this word, maintenance of internal environment, and this term was given, this may be asked as a MCQ, homeostasis term that was given by W.B. Cannon. Okay, W.B. Cannon. Okay, try to remember. Homeo means same and stasis means standing. So same standing. Okay, so we are maintaining same static internal environment. Okay, now what is this internal environment? Now we discuss what do you mean by internal environment. Before that, I will give you one example. Suppose if you have fever, if you have any pathology, if you have hepatitis, if you have any other disease, doctor asks you to go for blood test. Why blood test? Because blood is a part of our internal environment. So now we come to the answer. What is internal environment? Internal environment, for that another word we use, that is milieu interior. This also may be asked as a MCQ. This milieu interior word was given by Claude Bernard. Okay, Claude Bernard has given the word milieu interior. Fine. So this internal environment, that is, this maintenance of internal environment is very important in multicellular organism. Why? Because if the organism is single cell, having single cell, this all the activities are maintained by single cell. Okay, but if multiple cells are there, so here you can see we need to maintain the internal environment. Okay, now, so our body cell, why internal environment maintenance is important? Because our body cells, they exist in water based medium. This is here, you can see these are our cells and this is water based medium here. Okay, fine. Now, so this water based medium, that is your extracellular fluid. All of you are knowing this is your intracellular fluid and extracellular fluid. Okay, now this extracellular fluid, that is your internal environment. Very important thing to remember here is extracellular fluid is our internal environment. Extracellular fluid is, it includes two things. Number one is blood and number two, that is interstitial fluid. Okay, so now you come to know that why doctors, they prescribe blood test, because they wish to know about our internal environment, and whenever there is any disturbances in internal environment, blood test gives you the result. Okay, fine. Now you can see here, so blood is known as, you can see here, blood is inside the vessel, so blood is known as intravascular, okay, extracellular fluid. And interstitial, here interstitial fluid is known as extravascular extracellular fluid. Okay, fine. So this extracellular fluid mainly consists of two things, blood and interstitial fluid. Now, very important thing here, whatever nutrients, oxygen and other nutrients required by the cell, they are taken up by, you can see here, through blood inside the cell, and whatever waste products, carbon dioxide, other waste products, they are produced by the cell, they enter into the blood. So you can say that these cells, they perform their activity through this internal environment. So if there is disturbance in functioning of any of the organ or system, what happens? Your blood test gives you pathological value. For example, suppose kidneys are not functioning, what happens? Blood creatinine level increases. Okay, why? Because creatinine is excreted by kidneys, that function is not carried out now. So you can say that blood creatinine level is, so anything, whatever is your disturbance in the homeostasis, that is depicted by change in the internal environment. Okay, fine. Now, so again, now we come to the same thing. We will discuss this. This is just, so you can see here, these are our cells. This is intracellular fluid, we have already discussed. Okay, and this is extracellular fluid. Extracellular, we have discussed. Extracellular, intravascular is blood, plasma, that is a fluid part of blood, and extracellular, extravascular, that is interstitial fluid. Fine. So this we have already discussed. Now another important thing for homeostasis, that is exchange. Okay, exchange and communication, these two are key points of the homeostasis. You can see here, exchange and communication. Now, exchange between what? You can see here, intracellular fluid here to interstitial fluid, and interstitial fluid to blood. Okay, and this blood carries this to the organs. Okay, and same way from organs also, that will be going to lungs for the purification. So everything that is carried out through internal environment. Okay, so this is exchange and communications, they are key concepts. Now, so internal environment, very important thing we are coming here is whenever there is deviation, deviation of internal environment from the set point, every value has its own set point. Okay, whenever the value deviates from normal set point, always very important thing here is, in physiology, none of the value is fixed. Every value has different set point. Different means you can see, suppose if I am talking about heart rate, normal heart rate is 60 to 100 beats per minute. It is not fixed 72. So this is the set point. Okay, so this is known as value of variable. This value fluctuates. Okay, and this fluctuation takes place between set point only. Set point, what is set point? You can write down definition of set point. That is, it is a value, ideal value of variable, normal value of variable, that is set point. Okay, fine. Now you can see here in this diagram, this value of variable, as I told you, that suppose if we are talking about this thing, heart rate, so this fluctuates between 60 to 100 only, so this is set point. Body temperature also, that is a set point. So values, they fluctuated between this set point. Okay, and when the value goes either beyond or below the set point, you can say that the body suffers from homeostasis, suffers from pathology, sorry. So you can see here conditions in which there is change from the set point. This change is detected. Then we have a corrective mechanism. Corrective mechanism correct the set point and this thing comes back to normal. Okay, so this is the mechanism how our homeostasis works. Now, again you can see here, this is the same thing. Whenever there is disturbance, this is transmitted through the stimulus to the center, through receptor to the center, then through effector, then response. Okay, fine. Now, so various systems are important to maintain this homeostasis, and as I told you, most of the mechanisms, they work by negative feedback mechanism. Now what is this negative feedback mechanism? Okay, you can see here, whenever any normal value here, it either rises above normal. For example, suppose your body temperature which is around 37 degrees Celsius, when it rises, what happens when it rises above normal level? Then impulses or the information reaches to the center for body temperature regulation, that is present in your hypothalamus. Okay, now so this hypothalamus sends signals for the correction. Okay, so here you can see there is corrective mechanism, and this corrective mechanism, for example, suppose our body temperature rises, now what happens? We have sweating. So by sweating, we tries to decrease the body temperature. So this is your corrective mechanism. And this corrective mechanism brings the body temperature back to normal. So this way you can say that our body maintains normal homeostasis. Okay, maintains homeostasis. Same thing is also there when the value falls below normal. For example, suppose your body temperature falls below normal, below the normal value. Suppose in winter, what happens? We have shivering. Shivering generates heat, and by generation of heat we can bring the body temperature back to normal. Okay, fine. So this is the way we can explain homeostasis. Now another thing, there are various mechanisms, various factors, they are involved in the maintenance of internal environment, and they are: number one, that is regulation of body temperature, maintenance of water and electrolyte balance, pH regulation, nutrient supply, oxygen supply, enzyme supply, and hormone supply, waste products removal, transport of substances. So these all are the factors involved. We will discuss one by one. Starting with first one. First one, that is role of various body systems in the homeostasis. Number one, that is extracellular fluid. As I told you, extracellular fluid, that is known as our internal environment. Okay, extracellular fluid is our internal environment. So extracellular fluid has various ions, various nutrients. This all ions and nutrients which are required, needed by cell. So when cell requires any nutrient, any ion, any oxygen, that is taken up by extracellular fluid. Okay, and so you can say cell live in the environment, and this is your extracellular fluid. Okay, so extracellular fluid is our internal environment. Okay, and as I told you, extracellular fluid includes two things. Number one is your plasma, that is a fluid part of blood, you can say blood also, and second thing is interstitial fluid. Okay, fine. So now second important mechanism for homeostasis, that is transport mechanism. Okay, Ashish, hello, thank you beta, thanks for joining me. Okay, nice. Nice to see you all. Okay, but be regular, attend the class, and you will just find physiology easy if you are there with me throughout the year and you will regularly attending the classes. I think it will be easy for you to pass physiology. Okay, now so uh, next is transport. So for transport nutrient and oxygen, for transport of nutrients we have blood. Oxygen is also transported through blood. Okay, and this is transported from digestive tract to various tissues. Okay, and waste products, they are transported in the opposite direction. So another important homeostatic uh, hello bit another important homeostatic mechanism, that is excretion of waste products. Okay, for excretion we have various systems. Which are those? Number one is digestive system. Digestive system excretes the undigested food particle in the form of feces. So that is one excretory system. Okay, lungs, they excrete carbon dioxide and water vapor. Liver, that excretes bacteria. Okay, that also excretes bile pigments, toxic substances, heavy metals, drugs. Okay, they all are excreted by liver. Skin excretes water, salts, and other waste products. And kidneys, they excrete, very important thing, they excrete water and water soluble waste products. Have you ever seen anything insoluble in urine? No. Why? Because kidneys, they excrete water and water soluble waste products. Okay, they are excreted by kidney. Now next is pH balance. You all know normal body pH. This also you must know, normal value, normal pH of blood, or you can say extracellular fluid. This is normal value, you have to remember. Okay, thanks for joining me. So normal pH, write down this value if you are writing along with my class. The normal value is 7.38 to 7.42. Okay, pH of the blood. Okay, or you can write 7.4 plus or minus 0.02. Okay, normal pH is this. When the pH falls below the 7.38, that is known as acidosis, and when the pH is more than 7.42, that is alkalosis. Now what happens whenever our pH increases? For example, suppose after we have taken food and digestion of food, that produces acids. So our body produces acid. So we have buffer mechanisms. This buffer mechanisms, they try to regulate our pH. Now which are these buffer mechanisms? Number one is our body fluid buffer mechanisms, that is present in our blood. That is first mechanism to regulate the pH. Hello, good evening beta. Carrie Karadia. Good evening, welcome to my class. Second is respiratory system, because it excretes carbon dioxide. And if it excretes carbon dioxide, then it decreases the H2CO3. H2CO3 is carbonic acid. Okay, so that is also buffer mechanism. And third is renal buffer mechanism. Kidneys also, they act as very good buffer. So these three buffer mechanisms are there. They regulate our body pH. Okay, fine. Now, so you can see here in this diagram, you can see this is neutral pH. Our body doesn't have neutral pH. Neutral pH is the pH of pH of water. Why water pH is neutral? It has H plus and OH minus. So 1 H plus 1 OH equal. So the pH is neutral. Okay, now suppose if we are talking that the pH of blood, it is slightly alkaline. You can see here this one. Okay, and when there is acidosis, our body fluid mechanisms, respiratory and renal mechanisms, they bring the pH back to normal. When there is alkalosis, again pH comes back to normal by all these mechanisms. Okay, now next is body temperature regulation. This is also very important homeostatic function of our body. Why? Because body temperature regulation is very important for the enzymes to work. Okay, because we all are homeothermic animal. Homeothermic means we are maintaining our internal environment constant. Whatever is our external environment, suppose in winter external environment may be 20 degrees Celsius or 19 or 12, anything, but our internal environment remains same as around 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, so this is maintained by various mechanisms in our body. Okay, so this is our normal body temperature around 37 degrees Celsius. Okay, will you post this live video on YouTube? Yes, Ashish, this will be available on my channel. One more thing I would like to tell you all, that you just if you wish to watch my videos after live class, then you can watch the same. You just go through my channel, go to my channel and subscribe it. Subscription is absolutely free, as well as you can just click the bell icon, so whenever I am live or I am uploading new video, that is visible to you, and you will definitely get the notification. Ashish, definitely you can watch this video on my channel, but just subscribe the channel and hit the bell icon. Okay, these two things you are needed to do. Okay, fine. Now, so our body temperature regulation. What is the thermostat for body temperature regulation? How our temperature is regulated? We have a thermostat in our hypothalamus. Okay, so hypothalamus, like if we have air condition, we have thermostat. Okay, so hypothalamus is our thermostat. Suppose if we have set our air condition AC temperature 20 degrees Celsius, what happens when the temperature rises? Hello Avni. Hello beta. Welcome to my class. So when our temperature rises 20 degrees Celsius, what happens? Automatically our AC starts. Same thing here with the hypothalamus also. I will explain. So you can see here, hypothalamus has two centers. Very good. Very good, Ashish. Okay, nice. You are from Mauritius. Okay, nice to see you. I'm feeling good that with this technology I can teach Mauritius students also. Very happy to see you. Okay, I'm fine, Avni. I'm fine, beta. How are you? You are also first year student. I think so. Those who are first year student, this is my humble request. Please watch me live only for 45 minutes. I will try to complete my lecture in 45 minutes to 1 hour, and you will completely learn the topic if you are there. Okay, fine. Welcome to my class, all of you. Now, so you can see here, this is our this is thalamus. You can see this is hypothalamus. Okay, below the hypothalamus we have heat loss center and heat gain center. Now I will explain how our hypothalamus works to regulate body temperature. You can see here, these are our hypothalamic nuclei. We will discuss all these nuclei in CNS. Now, this heat loss center means when our body temperature rises, now these centers, they work and they lose the heat. Now, these centers are located in preoptic nucleus. Try to remember this name, preoptic nucleus here, preoptic nucleus. Okay, remember this name. Now, when our body temperature rises, now these centers are stimulated. And what is the action of this center? How do they work? Number one, they increase heat loss, okay, by vasodilatation. One thing, suppose you might have felt that if somebody is having fair skin and the person is going out in the sun, what happens? The face or the skin becomes red. Why red? Because of vasodilatation, and through vasodilatation heat is lost. Okay, Avni. Second thing is, there is sweating. Through sweating also one can lose the heat because water vapors are lost. So that is second mechanism. Third mechanism, our body decreases heat production. I will explain. I think you might have experienced, समर में भूख कम लगती है. क्यों? हमारा बॉडी हीट प्रोडक्शन कम कर देता है. सो एंड विंटर में भूख ज्यादा लगती है. क्यों? बिकॉज हीट प्रोडक्शन, मेटाबॉलिज्म प्रोड्यूसेस हीट. So this heat production decreases. So this is the function of heat loss center. Okay, now next is our heat gain center. You can see here, loss वाले आगे होते हैं, gain वाले पीछे होते हैं. So heat loss centers are situated in the posterior hypothalamus. Okay, this one. Now these centers are, when are they stimulated? These centers are stimulated when our body temperature falls in the winter. विंटर में कौन से सेंटर स्टिमुलेट होंगे? हीट गेन. समर में हीट लॉस, क्योंकि हीट को लॉस करना है. ओके फाइन. सो हीट गेन सेंटर जब स्टिमुलेट हो रहे तो क्या होगा? नंबर वन, हीट लॉस डिक्रीज हीट लॉस बाय वेजो कंस्ट्रिक्शन. हमारी ब्लड वेसल कंस्ट्रिक्ट होती है तो हीट लॉस नहीं होगा. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. सेकेंड थिंग, हीट प्रोडक्शन बढ़ा देगा. मैंने बताया ना भूख ज्यादा लगती है, so increase heat production. So these are the two mechanisms, they all are regulated by hypothalamus. तो हमारा thermostat कहाँ हुआ heat regulation का? That is in the hypothalamus. Okay, now next, regulation of water electrolyte balance, very important. Role of kidney. Why kidney? Because if suppose our body water increases, what happens? Heart has got more load. For example, suppose our normal body water is 5 body water, that is, or cardiac output and blood volume, that is 5 liter. Okay, now if suppose we are adding, we are, I suppose if I tell somebody to drink 2 liters of water, what happens? This blood volume increases because this water gets absorbed, blood gets diluted. Now, so this 7 liter, you can see heart has got extra load. So now our kidneys, they come into action. And what they do, if suppose you drink 2 liters of water, what happens? Within half an hour, you have to go for the excretion. That is the action of kidney. So this kidney regulates water balance, not only water balance, but electrolyte balance also. Why electrolyte balance? Because we are not eating salt and other electrolytes by weighing them. Measure करके eat नहीं करते. But हमारा kidney क्या करेंगे? Kidney excrete them. Suppose if I have one has taken more salt, then more salts are excreted. So kidneys, they regulate water electrolyte balance. Very important electrolyte, H plus ions are also regulated by kidney, and that is important for pH balance. That is one of the important function of kidney. Skin also play an important role in water and electrolyte balance by through sweating. Lungs also regulates water balance, okay, because water vapors are excreted, and digestive system through feces. For example, suppose somebody has diarrhea, watery diarrhea, what happens? Water gets lost. Okay, so that is also regulated by digestive system. Okay, next is, now all these systems are working system. In our body, we have two regulatory systems. Which are these two regulatory systems? Number one is nervous system and second one is endocrine system. Okay. Now, what is the difference between nervous regulation and endocrine regulation? Nervous regulation is immediate. Okay. Immediate regulation, that is by nervous system. For example, suppose if you touched hot flame, what happens? You immediately withdraw your hand. Okay, you will not wait for 10 minutes. Why? Because this is, you can see, regulated by nervous system. Am I clear? Now, next thing is endocrine regulation. Endocrine regulation, that is by hormones, and that is delayed. For example, suppose your growth hormone increases. Will you find increase in the height on the next day morning? Growth hormone बढ़ गया तो कल सुबह उठेंगे height बढ़ेगी? नहीं. That it takes time. So endocrine regulation is always gradual, slow regulation. Am I clear? And nervous regulation is immediate, but both are regulatory systems. Okay, so endocrine system, that is important for metabolism. Okay, जैसे for example, suppose insulin level, diabetes होता है तो insulin level decrease होता है, so that affects your glucose metabolism. So this endocrine system has important role in the metabolism, growth, and other activities. And this is by various hormones. We will discuss in detail. This is just 2 days 2 days lecture, that is introductory. I will introduce and I will discuss one question, that is homeostasis. Okay, now, so this is about endocrine system. Next is reproductive system. Now, what is the role of reproduction? In human being, males and females, this is female reproductive organs and males, they have different reproductive organs. Although reproduction is not a part of homeostasis. Okay, suppose reproductive organ किसी में निकाल देते तो person will not die. Okay, but reproduction is important for continuation of species. Continuation of species means if reproduction नहीं होगा तो we will not continue. Human being will not be continue on the earth. So this is the role of reproductive organ in homeostasis. Now we will discuss about the feedback mechanisms. Okay, so homeostasis explains various physiological function, and this homeostasis is regulated by feedback mechanisms. Very important topic comes now, feedback. The name itself suggests feedback. It is feeding back. Okay, so whenever, what happens in feedback, whenever there is change in the value, for example, you can see here, this is the stimulus, impulses they give through receptor to the center, effector, and response. Okay, so whenever this whole normal response that gets changed whenever there is change in the value of variable. As I told you, whenever our body temperature rises, what happens? This rise is detected by receptor, then sent to the center, effector, and response. Okay, so this way the feedback system works. We will discuss in detail. So feedback mechanism here. Feedback system consists of three components. You can say one is stimulus, that is detected by sensor, other name for the sensor, that is receptor. Okay, now these receptors or sensors, they send signals to the controlling center. Okay, where is the controlling center? That is always in central nervous system. Central nervous system has two parts, brain and spinal cord. तो centers हमारे हमेशा brain और spinal cord में रहेंगे, ठीक है. और next is effector. वहां से जाएंगे effector के पास and they perform the action. I will give you example. You can see body temperature when it rises above 37 degrees Celsius. What happens? Like sensors, they send signals through brain and then they enter into the through skin and then they enter into the brain. Okay, and in brain hypothalamus we have temperature regulating centers, and these centers now they send signals that now we require to increase heat loss. Increase heat loss by sweating. Okay, so this is the way how your feedback mechanisms work. Okay, now, so this feedback mechanism, they are of two types. So change in the homeostasis is regulated by feedback, and feedback mechanisms are of two types, negative and positive feedback mechanisms. So how can you define feedback? Feedback means output signals are passed back to input. So this is feedback, back to input. This is feedback. Okay, now starting with negative feedback mechanism. Now here you can see what happens in the negative feedback. You can see negative feedback mechanism simply said that output signal, the thing is same, feedback means output signals passed back to input, but here negative means output signals inhibit or decrease input one. So that is known as negative feedback. Negative feedback means output signals inhibit the input one. Okay, so you can see whenever there is imbalance, that is regulated. Am I clear? So this is negative feedback mechanism. Easy to remember. Feedback means output signal passed to input. Negative feedback, output signals, they inhibit input. And positive feedback, opposite, output signal, easy words, this word should come, output signals increases or potentiate input. That is your positive feedback. Okay, fine. Now these are the examples. This we have already discussed. Another important thing, most of our homeostatic mechanisms, they work through negative feedback. Okay, they work through negative feedback mechanism. Okay, now, so this is same thing we have discussed. Output signals, they correct excessive stimulation and stabilizes its own function. Means whenever any system works excessively, that is regulated. I will give you one more example. You can see here, just a minute. This is the example of secretion of thyroid hormone. You can see here. For thyroid hormone secretion, first is hypothalamus. Hypothalamus has TSH releasing hormone. Okay, fine. This TSH releasing hormone stimulate pituitary, and pituitary releases TSH. TSH का full form है thyroid stimulating hormone. Okay, and thyroid stimulating hormone stimulates thyroid gland to produce T3, T4. Now, when our body T3, T4 level increases, now this inhibits your pituitary gland. Also, it inhibits your hypothalamus. Okay, so T3, T4, you can see here, inhibits the, just a minute, pituitary gland. Now, when pituitary TSH secretion is inhibited, so what happens? T3, T4 secretion decreases. Same way, Whenever TRH secretion decreases, again TSH and T3, T4 secretion decreases. So this way, negative feedback regulates your thyroid hormone secretion. Okay, now, so this is not proper. We will discuss. Now, next is positive feedback. What is positive feedback? As I told you, feedback ki definition. Output signals passed back to input. Okay, easy way. Output signal passed back to input. Fine. Negative feedback, output signals inhibit input. Okay, and positive feedback, output signals amplify the change made by input. So amplification, that is positive, and this is also known as vicious cycle. Means you can see here, input stimulate output, output again stimulate input, again input stimulate output. So you can see this is a vicious cycle. Now, how the cycle breaks? Whenever your input is, you are just removing the input. This is the only way you can stop the positive feedback. Okay. Now, so you can see here examples we will discuss. One, that is childbirth. Example of positive feedback. How? You can see there when there is childbirth. You can see here. I'll just show you with the help of example. You can see. Suppose this is uterus. This is the head of the baby. Okay. This is the neck of uterus. Neck of uterus. So when head of the baby stretches the cervix is a neck of uterus, cervix is stretched. Okay, through stretching of cervix you can see impulses are transmitted to the hypothalamus, and hypothalamus secretes oxytocin hormone. Now this oxytocin through blood it reaches to uterus now, and what is its action? It causes contraction of upper part of uterus. So now it pushes the baby down. When it pushes baby down, what happens? There is more stretching of cervix. More cervix is stretched, more will be the oxytocin. So you can see this is a cycle. Am I clear? If any doubt, let me know. I will explain it again. Am I clear? If you are there, just let me know. Do you understand this one? Do you understand this action of oxytocin? How oxytocin works, I repeat, you can see here, when head of the baby stretches cervix, you can see here, impulses are transmitted through cervix to the hypothalamus and it secretes oxytocin. And oxytocin causes contraction of upper part of uterus. And when upper part of the uterus is contracted, then baby's head is pushed down. More the baby's head is pushed down, more is the stretching, more will be the oxytocin. So this is okay, fine, Ashish. So this is the very good example of positive feedback. Now next example is blood clotting. What happens here in the blood clotting? I will explain. You can see here, when there is injury to the blood vessel. Okay, so injury to the blood vessel initiates the clotting mechanism. In this clotting mechanism, we have this vicious cycle. You can see here, when thrombin gets activated, this is inactive form of thrombin, prothrombin. Prothrombin is converted into thrombin by prothrombin activated. Now this thrombin, it again activates, prothrombin. The more the prothrombin, more will be the thrombin form. So you can see here, this is again a vicious cycle for clot formation. Okay, so this is also positive feedback. Third is action potential, nerve impulse transmission. You can see here, this is the example of action potential. Here, nerve impulse, when it is generated, it is also due to positive feedback or vicious cycle of the leakage of sodium ions. Okay, here sodium channels are open, then they just open the sodium channel of the neighboring part. So this way also there is positive feedback mechanism. So these are the three examples of positive feedback mechanism. Am I clear? One is, let us repeat, most of the feedback mechanisms are negative, only positive are, number one is your childbirth, second blood clotting, and third generation of nerve impulse. Okay, now last but important topic we will discuss, feedback gain. What is this feedback gain? This also may be asked in your NEET PG as MCQ. So feedback gain, what is the formula? There is a formula. Very good, beta. Very good, Prakruti, Kishan and Ashish. Thanks for the reply. Okay, fine. So feedback gain का फॉर्मूला याद रखना है, इजी याद रखना है, तो CEO, ठीक है, CEO, correction upon error. I will explain how this has come. So correction ऊपर लेना है, CEO शॉर्ट फॉर्म बना लीजिए, करेक्शन अपॉन एरर. ठीक है. नाउ वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, डिग्री ऑफ इफेक्टिवनेस दैट इज डिटरमाइंड बाय द गेन, फीडबैक गेन. सपोज गेन ज्यादा हो रहा है तो जो सिस्टम है उसकी इफेक्टिवनेस ज्यादा है. वाई, क्यों ज्यादा है? बिकॉज करेक्शन ज्यादा हो रहा है और एरर कम हो रही है. ठीक है ना. गेन ज्यादा है मीन्स मोर द करेक्शन लेस द एरर. okay, and the efficacy of the feedback is greater. Mainly all these are regulated by negative feedback, so we are talking about negative feedback. Efficacy is greater when the gain is high. More the gain, more will be the efficacy. But सबसे पहले ये फॉर्मूला याद रखना है, मैं एग्जांपल बताती हूँ आपको. ठीक है. ट्राई टू रिमेंबर दिस फॉर्मूला. ये फॉर्मूला आपके गाइडन में दिया हुआ है, सो प्लीज रिमेंबर दिस फॉर्मूला गेन. ठीक है. नाउ we will discuss about example. Okay, what is the example? For example, suppose you can see that in an animal or person, when large amount of blood is transfused, this is just an example we have created. Suppose कोई एक एनिमल है जिसके अंदर हम ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूज कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. लार्ज अमाउंट ऑफ ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन कर रहे हैं. ठीक है. नॉर्मली उसका आर्टीरियल प्रेशर है 100 मिलीमीटर ऑफ मर्क्यूरी. ठीक है. अगर उसका बैरो रिसेप्टर काम नहीं कर रहा है, बैरो रिसेप्टर्स आर नॉट वर्किंग, तो ये ब्लड प्रेशर कितना बढ़ेगा? 175 mmHg तक पहुंच जाएगा. सो ये क्या हो गया हमारा? 175 हो गया. ठीक है ना. अभी ये एक सिचुएशन है. ठीक है. ब्लड ट्रांसफ्यूजन किया एक एनिमल में जिसमें बैरो रिसेप्टर्स काम नहीं कर रहा है. सेकेंड थिंग, सेम वॉल्यूम ऑफ ब्लड हमने दूसरे एनिमल में ट्रांसफ्यूज किया जिसके अंदर बैरो रिसेप्टर काम कर रहा है. बैरो रिसेप्टर्स आर वर्किंग. ठीक है. तो अभी इसका ब्लड प्रेशर, मीन ब्लड प्रेशर है 100 मिलीमीटर ऑफ मर्क्यूरी. इससे कहाँ जाएगा? 125 तक ही जाएगा. ठीक है. अभी इससे हम लोग फॉर्मूला पर जाते हैं फिर से. फीडबैक गेन, गेन इज इक्वल टू करेक्शन अपॉन एरर. ठीक है. तो करेक्शन कितना हुआ है दैट फर्स्ट वी डिस्कस. करेक्शन इज इक्वल टू, यू कैन सी, 1 से बैरो रिसेप्टर ने कितना करेक्शन किया? 175 से लेके वो कहाँ तक ले आया? 125 तक. ठीक है. तो 125 माइनस 175, सो दैट इज करेक्शन इज -50. ठीक है. नाउ नेक्स्ट इज एरर. एरर कितनी रहेगी? नॉर्मल कितना था? 100. एरर रही है कहाँ कितनी? 25. ओके. सो हमारा गेन हो गया -2. सो दिस वे यू कैन कैलकुलेट गेन. एम आई क्लियर? गेन इज इक्वल टू करेक्शन अपॉन एरर. करेक्शन कितना हो रहा है? डिवाइडेड बाय एरर. ओके. सो दिस वे गेन ऑफ एनी ऑफ द फीडबैक सिस्टम वी कैन कैलकुलेट. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग, अगर गेन ज्यादा है तो क्या होगा? इफेक्टिवनेस ऑफ द फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म इज ग्रेटर. एम आई क्लियर? सो दिस इज अबाउट योर टॉपिक होम्योस्टैसिस. अगर आपको शॉर्ट नोट पूछ रहा है तो यहाँ तक का आपको लिखना है, होम्योस्टैसिस एंड फीडबैक मैकेनिज्म. सभी सिस्टम्स थोड़ा थोड़ा डिस्क्राइब करना है. ठीक है. सेकेंड थिंग, फीडबैक में नेगेटिव फीडबैक लिखना है और पॉजिटिव फीडबैक, दोनों के एग्जाम्पल्स डालने हैं. फीडबैक गेन भी डालना है. दिस इज वन ऑफ द वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग. लास्ट में अगर आप फीडबैक गेन लिख रहे हैं तो ये जो टॉपिक है ये आपकी स्टैंडर्ड टेक्स्ट बुक अगर गाइडलाइन नहीं भी पढ़ी है तो भी आप अगर फीडबैक गेन लिख रहे हैं तो एग्जामिनर को लगेगा कि यस इसने कुछ क्लिनिकल लिखा है. वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग आई वुड लाइक टू टेल यू. एक आपको अच्छी सी ट्रिक देना चाह रही हूँ, दैट इज करेक्शन अपॉन एरर. हाँ ठीक है बेटा. यस किशन, दिस इज करेक्ट. करेक्शन अपॉन एरर दैट इज गेन. ठीक है. अगर आप कुछ भी, कोई भी क्वेश्चन आपको पूछा जा रहा है, अगर आप उसमें क्लिनिकल एस्पेक्ट कुछ भी लिख रहे हैं तो आपका मार्क्स डबल या यू कैन से मार्क्स अच्छे हो जाएंगे. क्यों? बिकॉज वी आर गोइंग टू बी अ क्लिनिशियन. तो हम अगर बेसिक साइंस फिजियोलॉजी को क्लिनिकल से कनेक्ट कर रहे हैं तो दैट इज अ क्रेडिट. सो ऑलवेज जो भी क्वेश्चन आपको पूछा जाए उसके साथ थोड़ा सा भी जो भी आपको उसका क्लिनिकल एस्पेक्ट अगर कुछ आ रहा है तो प्लीज राइट डाउन. ठीक है. So this is one of the credit mark. Okay, you can gain. Okay, so this way in every class of mine I will give you this simple tricks. So please be there, be with me, and I can guarantee you that you can be the scholar. Okay? So all the best. Stay tuned. और another one more thing, for late comers, अगर आप लोगों को हमारा soft copy चाहिए, अगर if you wish to get the soft copy of my all notes, that is available on the app Vesalius. You can get all the question answers, okay, all short questions, short notes, long questions, everything that is available. You can download from the Play Store, as well as you can subscribe after downloading, then only you can get the content. Subscription is minimal charge. Okay, next is अगर आपको hard copy चाहिए, that is also available. Physiology notes that is authored by me, that is also available. So you can order it from Flipkart also. Okay, and if you have any doubt, one more thing also here I would like to add. I will share with you my contact number, WhatsApp number. Anytime if you have any doubt, you can contact me on this WhatsApp number. We have also our Telegram group. We will add you also on the same. And this is just a WhatsApp contact, so don't call. Just this is WhatsApp available, 78638 22668. So you can write down, you can WhatsApp me if you have any query. Okay, fine. So thank you so much. Thanks for being with me. If you have any doubt, you can just write in the chat box. Okay, fine. Stay tuned daily. I have my class at 9 p.m. and we will discuss new question from physiology. And if you are there with me, definitely we are going to complete the syllabus on time. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you, Vagela Crazy. Thank you, Kishan. Thank you, Prakruti. Okay, Ashish. Thank you so much for being with me. See you soon. See you tomorrow. Thank you so